about crime in the United States. Now, crime is everywhere. It's here and it's around every corner. So, there has been a recent increase in a certain crime rate in the U.S. for the first time in over a decade. Now, the media has people believing that crimes all involve shooting and death and murders, but that is not the case. I'm majoring in criminal justice, so this crime statistics are in my field, my career field. So through further research, I was able to expand my knowledge of my field. Hopefully, by the end of the presentation, you'll gain a better understanding of what the crime rate is really like in the United States. By learning more about the crime rates, we will better understand the different crimes being committed and gain information on how to prevent them. First, I'll discuss the different ways the government obtains this information. Then I'll talk about property crimes, and lastly I'll talk about violent crimes, the two major crimes. So, first, in order to understand the statistics I'm about to show you, we must first discuss the two ways the government accumulates these numbers. So, the first way, according to the FBI website, is through a program called the Uniform Crime Reporting Program. It was created in 1929 by the International Association of Chiefs of Police, but it wasn't until the 1930s that the FBI started publishing and archiving these statistics. Now, the way the program works is that data is collected from over 18,000 law enforcement agencies, both 18,000 city, university, college, county, state, tribal, and federal law enforcement agencies. So this includes the sheriff's office, the school police, the FBI, etc. Now, this is a collection of data that helps criminologists better understand crimes, the reasons why they're being committed, and they could figure out different ways on how to prevent crimes. Now, the other way the government obtains this information is, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics website, is through a survey called the National Crime Victimization Survey. Now, this is given every year to a nationally representative sample of about 90,000 households, as about 160,000 people. This survey is about 37 pages long and has 137 questions. Now, these questions ask them, so basically every year they give them to them twice a year, and they ask them if they have been a victim of a crime in the past 6 months, if the crime was reported or not, and the reason why it wasn't reported if it wasn't, because most crimes are not reported. Now, with this information, we could estimate the likelihood of the population as a whole and specific groups such as women, men, the elderly, children, races, etc. And we could determine the likelihood of becoming a victim of a crime. Now, the purpose of this is to obtain more knowledge about crimes, and determine methods to reduce crime rates throughout the U.S. Now that I have discussed the two ways the government obtains this information, I will now discuss property crimes. Now, property crimes consist of burglary, larceny, theft, motor vehicle theft, and arson. Now, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, based on this chart, larceny theft accounts for 69.6% of the overall crime, burglary 22.3%, vehicle theft 8.1%, and vehicle theft 8.1%. Now, as you can see, the numbers have begun to decrease since 2009 and are steadily decreasing this today. From this, we can conclude that the different methods the government is using is working to reduce the overall crime rate. Now that I have discussed property crimes, I will now discuss violent crimes. Violent crimes include aggravated assault, robbery, rape, and murder. Now, according to the Bureau of Justice Statistics website, assault counts for 62.3% of the overall violent crime rate. Robbery is 29.7%, rape is 6.9%, and murder is 1.2%. Now, as you can see, the numbers here are not as big as the property crimes that I just showed you in the previous slide. Now, with this, we can conclude that the media was exaggerating the the event of crimes being all about murder and assault and death. But however, as we see this steadily decreasing, recently in the last year, according to Ben Post from the Los Angeles Times, a report from the Los Angeles Times, violent crime has increased 14.3% in Los Angeles. And according to this article, the police department states that this is due to the increase in domestic violent cases and alcohol-fueled street attacks. And because they slightly changed the definition of violent crimes, because in some cases, assault with a deadly weapon were considered to be minor cases. Now, to conclude, I have just discussed the two ways the government obtains this information. I've discussed about property crimes, and I have discussed violent crimes. Now, crime is everywhere, but that doesn't mean you have to become a victim of it. Thank you.